Thanks a lot for coming in.
Good morning, happy to be here.
Something about this community appeals to you?
This is a wonderful place to live.
For KelownaNow, this is Kent Mulgat. And we're joined by Mark Burley, the newly minted Executive Director of the Downtown Kelowna Association. Lots happening downtown, so I wanted to start by asking you, since you've stepped into this role, what's your first reaction to what's facing downtown businesses and what's going on in the downtown?
My first reaction when I went to the office, which is basically 2 blocks south of where I spent the previous 12 years, is that not a lot has changed, it's just grown. And I spent a lot of time when I first started this job reading, going through files, reading any old media, press releases and that, as well as it was December, so there was the requisite amount of different receptions going on for Christmas, and a lot of meetings, meeting a lot of new people. But I also noticed that there was a whole bunch of those people down there that were always down there when I worked up the street from where I am now.
So what are the priorities? What issues need to be addressed for businesses downtown? Is there a priority list?
Well, the priority for the DKA is the revitalization of Leon and that whole part there. But we're advocates there for the businesses downtown. And I take a lot of calls about a bunch of different issues. You would take it mostly safety and security and that kind of thing. But yeah, I would say that for the most part, it's the revitalization of Leon Avenue that is at the top of the list for the DKA.
I want to get back to Leon Avenue in a minute, but when I go downtown, I'm just stupefied by the number of high-rises that we see going up. And right across the street from Brooklyn is a old town center mall that's being revitalized. I think a lot of people would say that was overdue. So that we're taking something. I don't want to hurt the feelings of anybody associated with that mall before, but it was something a little bit gloomy about it. Now it's got this new look. There's another upbeat thing. There is so much going on downtown, all those people moving downtown to fill these places, that's got to have people feeling optimistic.
Oh, for sure, very optimistic. There's a lot of builds going on down there. Right across from what's now called the district that you were just referring to is Brooklyn on Bernard, which is another Mission Group initiative to add another residential mixed-use commercial aspect to that end of Bernard Avenue. We have Ella on Ellis, which is going up, takes up half of Leon Avenue, which is probably a complaint I get a few times, is about how a whole lane of traffic has been blocked off. And then we have the West Corp that's underway going. They're doing a presentation center on Bernard that they're working on right now. You have 1 Water Street, 2 towers there, Ellis Park up at the corner by the train station pub. So there's this whole circle that's happening downtown of people, and then once those buildings are occupied, not only by the commercial aspects that are there, but the residential aspects, that's critical traffic to downtown, the downtown core, for people to be walking around and using all the great facilities that are already there.
So do downtown businesses just sit back and wait for things to get better with all these people, or do you sort of plan for a downtown that's going to have a lot more people walking around?
Well, we have some great initiatives that we do downtown already. My first one was the Winter Street Market on Water Street at the beginning of December, and that attracts people to downtown and gets them moving around. The block party every year, Festivals Kelowna does the July 1st fireworks. That's all critical to people being in downtown and moving around. And the more people that there are downtown, the safer it is. So those whole things moving around, the people in these new places moving around, is going to add to that, and it's going to also make it very vibrant, I think.
Right. Yeah. So you mentioned safety. We were hearing some things from the downtown that there were some strange acts of vandalism that were going on. A bunch of businesses, for some reason or other, had their power wires cut.
I hadn't heard that part of it, but
well, do you get the sense that there's enough RCMP attention to issues like that?
Oh, for sure. I think, they are working as hard as they can with the resources that they have. And then you have our downtown on call that are out there moving around the streets, keeping people moving, as well as some Paladin security, which has increased as well. That incident, I think, that you're talking about was one incident. It was right after New Year's, and it was one person about 4 o'clock in the morning, from what I understand.
Okay.
That was the last I heard of.
Not part of a big trend or anything.
No, it wasn't.
But there is a trend. You know, we've talked about the good stuff. The Leon Avenue section. We're hearing that there may be even another business or two that is sort of, had enough. It's tough to turn that one around. But you mentioned it yourself, revitalizing Leon Avenue. Is that possible given the circumstances that are there?
Well, I think so, because part of what's going on Leon will be moving along, and that's the Cornerstone building and the shelter that's there. It's a responsibility of every community to help those people who are either about to be homeless or that are homeless. The thing is that we think that those kinds of things need to be supported by multi-agencies, and it's not just downtown, and it's not just the city of Kelowna that has to take it on. It's all these other agencies that are involved with the Journey Home project that have made that thing come to life, that are going to help those situations move on. To other places. Where those places are, I have absolutely no idea.
Right. At least, you can look around. There's been times when you would almost just throw up your hands. What are we going to do? But that's not the attitude right now. Things are being done. We're seeing one after another of these buildings being improved and built. So relief may be in sight to having an overpopulation of people with nowhere to go.
Exactly, and it's a social aspect too, I think, when they're sticking together, and once they start to move out, and those are in smaller groups, which is, from what I understand from everything that I've been reading about the situation, is better to have multiple places instead of one big place where you have a whole bunch of people.
Right.
So BC Housing, Interior Health, the Canadian Mental Health Association, all those people are part and parcel to making sure that the Journey Home plan works, because everybody does deserve to have a roof over their head no matter what their situation is.
A lot of businesses have to make this choice. They may have access to a possible location in the downtown, and they think about that. And then they look over at the mall and they know, well, I'm going to get way more traffic there, and the lease might be a lot more there, and they have to make that decision. Do you see more people opting towards the downtown as that traffic increases?
I sure do. I think that the more people that are living down there, that means there's more people working down there in downtown Kelowna, on Bernard, Lawrence, Leon. Right. Doesn't matter, all those streets. Again, it's more people moving around that's going to help the downtown be even that much more vital.
Right. So that decision-making might tip more towards the downtown choice.
I would think so, and I also think that maybe sometimes when it comes to enclosed spaces like a mall, maybe that's not the right place for some people's business, because like you said, it's so that much more expensive. There's that much more of inventory or whatever it is they have to sell, or a service they have to provide to be able to pay for it.
Right.
So when you're downtown, you can have more of a specialized store in a smaller area that perhaps isn't as expensive, and I think those brick and mortar type plazas are actually having as much difficulty as maybe downtowns did 10 years ago.
At the same time, we have all this construction going on and all the good things it means for the future. We're going to be getting into summer in a few months here, and with all this construction going on, that kind of gets in the way a little bit. But are you satisfied that these projects are done in such a way that it allows people to carry on at the same time?
Yeah, I do. I mean, Ella is a big building, and it's only, right now, it's really, half a block in one lane that it's taking up, and it juts out into Ellis a little bit. Yeah. But I just drove up there on my way here. So I think they're doing it as best they can, given the situation. That's going to be, a 2-year project from start to finish, 2.5 years?
Some of these things are 3 years. They don't go up in a heartbeat. And it gives you something to look at, too. I see when I do go downtown, you quite often see half the people looking up as these things start to take shape.
Yeah, right now when you go by the Ella and Ellis, you can look up on the one side that's on the laneway. Oh, that's got to be a parking garage because everything slants up.
Yeah, I was looking at just that. We were talking about yesterday. Well, hey, Mark Burley, thanks a lot for filling us in on what's going on downtown.
Thank you. Pleasure to see you again.
And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.